and we welcome you to the Cougar Den Tom McKinney Court here at Bloomington High School North, where tonight the Center Grove Trojans, ranked 4th in Class 4A, are in town to take on the Bloomington North Cougars, who are 1-0. As you can see, the Bloomington North Cougars about ready to tear through that banner to this home crowd. As we're glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball. There are the Cougars. Glad you could join us alongside Quinn Saturday. I am Nick Jenkinson. Well, Quinn, Bloomington North hasn't played since November the 20th. Center Grove is 3-0. They're coming off a win last night in front of a packed house at Center Grove, 63-60 against Indianapolis Cathedral. And it's a good crowd on hand here tonight, and they're here to see one guy in particular, and that is this guy, Trayce Jackson Davis, 6'8", the number 17 recruit in the country, and he just announced yesterday that he is coming to Indiana University to play for Archie Miller, and Hoosier Nation is thrilled to death that he is going to be wearing cream and crimson.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock because early signing period had already ended, so this was kind of just came out of like left field for everybody. But it's a great, excellent get for Archie to continue his promise of keeping the in-state talent with Indiana.
He had 3 guys commit last year. Romeo Langford, Mr. Basketball from New Albany, who of course we saw twice on our air, as once as a sophomore and once last year in his final regular season game. Rob Finnessy from McCutcheon up in Lafayette, and then Demezy Anderson from South Bend Riley. And mentioned he's got Armand Franklin from Cathedral, and now Trayce Jackson Davis, and he's still trying to land Keon Brooks, originally from Fort Wayne, who plays at LaPorte La Lumiere. So the in-state pipeline, as you see, Trayce Jackson Davis, who had a huge game last night for the Trojan, or in 3 games he's averaged 24.6 points, 74 points. He had 21 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks against Cathedral last night, 29 against Franklin and 24 against Franklin Central. And he looks a lot more, I was talking to Zach Hahn. He said it was a really long day yesterday, and of course, all the hubbub with Jackson Davis committing yesterday. But you see Jackson Davis tonight, and he looks a lot more relaxed. And he looks probably glad to just get that commitment out of the way, and now can focus on the rest of his season for the Center Grove Trojans. As you see the crowd here at the Cougar Den starting to file in, and they're all excited to see this game this evening, as we are getting ready here for the national anthem before this game tips off.
Good luck in tonight's
as the national anthem has been played. Now it's time to take a look at the lineups, and we're going to go with the Center Grove Trojans first, as they're going to go with number 1, Ben Nickerson at guard. He is a 6-foot senior. He's going to the University of Indianapolis. Spencer Piercefield is a 6-foot senior going to Indiana Wesleyan. Taven Jackson is the younger brother of Trayce Jackson Davis, 6'3" freshman, had the game winner against Cathedral last night. Justin DeGraff, 6'7" junior. And then here you go, you see him, Trayce Jackson Davis, coming to IU next year, 6'9" senior, chose the Hoosiers over Michigan State and UCLA. And head coach Zach Hahn, 62-41, his 5th year, 3 winning seasons, 2 sectional titles in 2017 and 18. And as we look at the Bloomington North Cougars, Tim Brewster, number 3, 6'2" junior. Isaac Wenzel, 6'1", sophomore. Nick Kleiber is a freshman, 6 foot, wears number 11. And then Jeremiah Blair is number 23, 6'3" junior. And then Chris Thomas, number 31, 6'7" senior. He moved over from Bloomington South midway through last season. And the head coach, Jason Spear, in his 2nd year at Bloomington North, 7-12, 122-65, and 8 years overall, was the head coach at Columbus North for 7 seasons. And then we also mentioned Zach Hahn, the coach, but Zach Hahn, the player, was pretty good. For Butler University from 2007 to 11, he played in 139 games, played in back-to-back NCAA championship games in 2010, 2011. Newcastle, Indiana is where he calls home, 2007 Indiana All-Star, and he has played and coached on the biggest stages in this state. We are underway. Center Grove in the red, Bloomington North in the white. Jackson Davis wins the tip. And here is the younger brother, Taven Jackson, and he gets called for the travel. So the Cougars will have the opportunity now to strike first. Kleiber to Isaac Wenzel. We'll see brother Ethan a little bit later coming off the bench. Chris Thomas going to put a 3 up over Trayce Jackson Davis and gets it to go. North on the board first with the Chris Thomas 3.
Very huge for Bloomington North to start strong here in this game. They don't want to fall behind early and then just have it spiral out of control.
There's the feed to Jackson Davis, and he slams it home.
I feel like that's not the first time we're going to see him dunk tonight.
I think you're going to see several of those. Thomas with another 3 as he misses it, and then Taven Jackson with the rebound. Trayce Jackson Davis a little late on that closeout. Jackson to his brother. There is DeGraff. That's an offensive foul against DeGraff.
Good call. He elbowed him right in the chest.
DeGraff, and keep an eye on DeGraff. He averages 14 points a game. Piercefield averages 13 points a game for Center Grove. Kleiber brings it up. Isaac Wenzel had a good solid freshman season last year. Brewster, cross court, Wenzel, 3 on the way, and it is over the backboard and out of bounds to Center Grove.
Very interesting is that Isaac Wenzel, last year as a freshman, was the starting point guard, but he's now moved over to shooting guard with the addition of this year's freshman point guard, Nick Kleiber.
And we talked about last year all the freshmen that come in and get to play right away, like Trevor Taylor from Edgewood, Connor Hickman from Bloomington South, and now we'll see it this year again with Kleiber as Jackson Davis gets fouled as he was trying to dunk it home again with 2 Cougars right in his face.
I mean, if I had the ability to just dunk every single shot, I think I'd probably do that too. I don't blame him.
Jeremiah Blair with the foul. Trayce Jackson Davis at the line. Has great lineage. His biological dad, Dale Davis, played for the Indiana Pacers for 9 seasons. And then his stepfather, Ray Jackson, was a cornerback at Washington State University in the mid-1990s. Center Grove up by 1. This is Thomas trying to get a move on Trayce. In and out, Trayce with the rebound. Here comes the moves. Going to kick it out to DeGraff. Back to Trayce. He loses the handle in the hands of Kleiber. Kleiber one-on-one with Taven Jackson, and Kleiber scores. Nick Kleiber, the freshman, not afraid to go right at Taven Jackson. Freshman against freshman. This is Nickerson. 3 for Pursfield on the way, no good. A long rebound to Taven Jackson. Can't get it to go into the hands of Kleiber. He gets it back to Brewster. To Blair. Blair finishes. North up by 3, and again, like just the JV game, off to a fast start. Taven Jackson gonna fire the 3, and it's good.
That's something that some people, as we just mentioned, is something that he can do very well, especially under pressure.
He had 7 points last night, hit the game winner against Cathedral in a 3-point win, 63-60. Cathedral's Armand Franklin had 13 points. Chris Thomas lights it up for his second 3 of the night.
Thomas is having the real tall task of having to guard Jackson Davis, so he's going to try to spend as much time pulling Jackson Davis out of the post as possible, and so far he's been successful with 2 threes.
There is DeGraff driving in on Isaac Venzel, rims in and out. Kleiber with it in transition. Finds Chris Thomas. Brewster going to fire a 3, and in and out. The rebound by Pursfield.
Basically robbed.
The iron unkind, as Tim Brando always says. Jackson Davis misses the dunk. Taven Jackson the 3. It is perfect, and he gives the North student section a little look and probably gives them a little trash talk as the Center Grove fans letting them know that he is just a freshman, tied at 10. Blair, no good. Jackson Davis with the rebound. Showing off the moves and going to the basket, left it short. Isaac Venzel in transition, got Kleiber, and then it's an offensive foul on the Cougars.
I can barely hear you. It's so loud in here.
And we got the Center Grove fans right off to the side of us here as Isaac Venzel commits the foul. That's his first, team second. And now it's substitutions for the Trojans. Ben Greller is going to check in, and Lucas Doyle, 35, in as well for the Trojans. Kobe Davis, Ethan Venzel in for Bloomington North. Venzel wears 33. Davis 2. Here's the alley-oop to Jackson Davis. Turns around and gets it over Ethan Venzel. 2-point lead for Center Grove. Aaron Steinfeld also into the game for the Cougars, wears 44. So now it's Ethan Venzel drawing the assignment of Trayce Jackson Davis. Venzel's going to draw him out and hit the 3. North up by 1.
definitely something he's going to have to work on, closing out, being able to stop defenders, his defender from shooting threes.
There is a foul on the Cougars, and that is on Tim Brewster, and now it's going to be a timeout, a 30-second timeout for Bloomington North with 2:06 to go here in quarter number 1. Well, I'll tell you what, I am very surprised to see how Bloomington North has come out and gone right at Center Grove. As you mentioned, drawing Trayce Jackson-Davis out to get those threes, and North's knocked down 3 of them so far.
Yeah, Thomas has especially just come out no fear whatsoever. You've probably bet that he's been told about this all week, probably for a couple months now. He's like, hey, you gotta guard Jackson Davis. Good luck with that. He's like, Thomas is pretty much taking the approach of, no, Jackson Davis has to guard me.
Yeah, at this level, I mean, a lot of times when you're going up against the star player, like we saw last year against Romeo Langford, Bloomington North showed no fear. Those guys are like, hey, look, we're going to go at him. And as you see it right there, Ethan Venzel draws a foul as they throw the inbounds into Trayce Jackson-Davis.
In a way, sometimes it's bad to have the well-known player because there's been tons of scouting reports on them, and thus it's a little bit easier to game plan against them because there's so much information out there.
And, they have played Center Grove the last 3 seasons with Center Grove winning all 3 meetings. So they definitely know what they want to do. Taven Jackson-Brewster with a block. Brewster one-on-one. Back to Kobe Davis. Inside, Steinfeld finishes. Aaron Steinfeld with the 2, and North back up by 3. Very lively crowd so far. Venzel tries to take it away. There's Trayce Jackson-Davis, spin moves and scores. He's got 8. Kleiber. Gets it to Steinfeld. Misses the shot. Taven Jackson with the rebound. Gets it ahead. Nickerson for 3, wide open. And hits. Center Grove up 2. Kleiber. Center Grove getting ready to bring in a fresh 5. Thought about Davis going to fire the 3 from the corner. No good. Trayce Jackson-Davis with the rebound. He's going to bring it up. Nickerson for 3 again, his second of the night.
And a nice dish by Jackson-Davis as well. Nickerson, just a sharpshooter. If he gets even a little bit of space, he's going to fire it off.
Here comes Trayce Jackson-Davis up ahead to younger brother Taven, and he scores. Taven Jackson has 8 already. Steinfeld fires a 3, rims out, and we go to the end of the first quarter. Center Grove 22, Bloomington North 15 here on Smithville Sports.
Welcome to Technology Powered by Smithville. Let our welcoming and friendly staff help you with your technology needs. Stop by to get Smithville Cellular Extra plans on the latest devices. Get routers and tech products at great prices. Plus, if you're a Smithville customer, you can pay your bill and change services. Come see us at the Clear Creek Crossing Plaza or check us out at smithville.com/technology. Technology powered by Smithville, Bloomington's communications and tech store.
Welcome back to Bloomington High School North. As we got the Center Grove JV cheerleaders near our broadcast position, so a little bit of a distraction there. But Center Grove leads Bloomington North 22-15 at the end of the first quarter. Glad you could join us for North Cougar Basketball on Smithville TV or Smithville Sports alongside Quinn Saturday. I am Nick Jenkinson, and it has been an entertaining first quarter so far, Quinn, both ways.
The Jackson Bros have a combined 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in that first quarter.
As multiple substitutions come in for the Trojans. Cameron Petty is number 21, Ben Cooney number 20, 22 is Charlie Bemis, and then Hurstfield and DeGraff on the floor. So Trayce, Jackson Davis, and Taven Jackson getting a rest right now. And then shoes fly for Isaac Venzel, and he got knocked down again as Kobe Davis scores. But then Isaac Venzel got his shoes knocked off and got knocked down to the floor as he is tying the shoes on and getting the shoes tied on. Got Chris Thomas, Kobe Davis, Nick Kleiber, Ethan Venzel on the floor for Bloomington North. As you see, Isaac's getting the shoes tied. Jason Spear now signaling the team to get back as Center Grove is going to inbound. So this is Piercefield. He's going to drive it, throw up a runner, and it's good. Lead is 7 for the Cougars. Kleiber, short, rebounded by Bemis. 3 on the way is no good for DeGraff. Trojans going to drive the lane, in and out for Piercefield. And there is Chris Thomas. Ethan Venzel. Kobe Davis to Venzel. To Kleiber. Gets it to Isaac Venzel. Thomas. Kleiber. And Kleiber gets it to go. He's got 4. Again, different look now for Center Grove without Trayce Jackson Davis in there, and he's coming back. He's getting ready to check back in. As they're going to bring him in along with Ben Nicholson.
But that's what's so special about this Trojan team is that they have enough depth that they can give Trayce an actual chance to take a breather every once in a while. Unlike when we saw with like New Albany where Romeo Langford literally had to play the entire game every single night.
He did have to play most of those games. And Brexton Egbila is in the game for Bloomington North wearing 21. And that is a foul. That is on Isaac Venzel. That is 2 for Venzel, team's 5th. Now they inbound it to Trayce Jackson Davis. Spin moves on 2 Cougars and gets fouled and goes to the line. Chris Thomas with the foul, his first, team 6th. A season ago, Trayce Jackson Davis averaged 22.3 points a game, 9.5 points, or 9.5 rebounds, 3.7 blocks, and 2.8 steals. And he misses that shot. This season, so far, 24.6 a game. He's 81% free throw shooter coming in to tonight's game. 2 of 3 at the line so far, and he makes it 3 of 4. Center Grove up 6. Kleiber gets it to Brewster. to Blair. Kleiber. Thomas. Blair gets knocked down. Thomas puts up a shot. Way short. Trayce Jackson-Davis with it, and he gets fouled.
And that puts them in the bonus already. There's only been one committed foul by the Trojans in this game. So pretty big foul difference between these two teams.
Trim Brewster with the foul, his second. As looks like some moisture on the floor, and they're going to clean it up. Zach Hahn, the coach, out there to clean up help the official with the moisture.
He's a man of many talents, Nick.
He's always been a gritty, tough competitor. He was a three-point specialist at Newcastle or at Butler, and he's played and coached on the biggest stage. You got to remember that Center Grove, that he played, Newcastle's the biggest gym in the high school gym in the world, over 9,000 people. Played in 2 national championship games. Center Grove last year lost in the regional down at Seymour. That seats over 8,000 people against New Albany, and that was sold out. So, Zach Hahn has, been on the big stage for a long, long time. So Trayce Jackson-Davis at the line and misses that one. Chris Thomas out of bounds. It will be Center Grove ball. Taven Jackson's going to check back in. And going out is Charlie Bemis. Ethan Venzel going in. And Brewster going out. DeGraff drives down the lane and gets fouled. That's the one thing that you've seen in this game. Both teams not afraid to go in, get contact, and get to the line. That's on Ethan Venzel, his second. And then Justin DeGraff at the line. He gets his first points of the night. 3 games so far, 42 points, 14 points a game. He's scored in double figures all 3 games so far this season. 15 against Franklin Central, 14 against Franklin, and 13 last night against Cathedral. Lead is now 8 for Center Grove. Jeremiah Blair, no good. Taven Jackson to rebound. DeGraff gonna fire a 3. It's short. Taven Jackson chases it out of bounds and goes out into the hallway. But it will be Bloomington North ball.
A little bit dangerous to have that door open. You don't want to slip on the floor over there.
No, that is a dangerous. They got 2 doors shut and 2 of them open down there. This is Thomas. Kleiber. Blair. And then it's a foul from behind. And that's on Nickerson, his first. And just the team second for Center Grove. Ethan Venzel to inbound it. Kleiber. Guarded by Taven Jackson. Gonna throw up a runner and rims in and out, and then Jackson with the rebound, and Kleiber commits the foul.
Bit of a frustration foul too.
Just not going in there for Nick Kleiber. And that is the first in team 9th, and then Taven Jackson at the line. He's averaging 6 points a game in 2 games. Hit the game-winning 3 last night with 22 seconds to go against Cathedral. Misses that one. Cathedral was Center Grove was down 10 before the Trojans went on a 13-2 run to close it out last night. There is Jeremiah Blair, left it short, gets his own rebound back. Egbula misses it. Jackson Davis the rebound. Showing the skill, there's a nice pass to DeGraff, and DeGraff gets fouled and will go to the line.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the second quarter, and that is already double bonus for the Trojans. This is going to be basically, at this point, the Trojans can basically put this game to almost out of reach if they can make their foul shots. That is, they missed 3 of their last 4.
That's the important thing, as you and I have talked about, foul shots. And so far in this quarter,
and remember, they're not. We can't call them free if no one hits them.
And they are 3 for 8 from the free throw line in this quarter. Steinfeld, Jackson Davis the block. Kleiber tries to throw the wraparound pass, and it was kicked out of bounds by Center Grove. Lucas Doyle going to check back in.
And you can tell about Jackson Davis, some players can just rack up blocks because they're tall. He has actually really good form in terms of shot blocking, though. It's definitely a skill that will translate to the next level.
I definitely like his old man, Dale Davis, shot blocks and rebounds. That's what Double D was good at for the Pacers and through his NBA career. Chris Thomas misses that. Nickerson with the rebound. Here is Trayce Jackson Davis to Greller, back to Jackson Davis, to younger brother, back to big brother. And Ethan Venzel on the floor gets it to Kobe Davis. And that's a travel for Kobe Davis.
An excellent defense by Ben Greller, because the way that he closed out made Kobe Davis have to double think about passing that ball, which then caused the travel.
Now that's a timeout for Center Grove. 27-19, the Trojans lead. Again, we talked about the Metropolitan Interscholastic Conference. Ben Davis, Carmel, Warren Central, Lawrence North, North Central, Lawrence Central, and Pike. Warren Central won the state championship a season ago. I'll tell you what, Warren Central is the king and queens of Indiana high school sports. In the calendar year, this year they won the boys and girls state basketball titles, and they won the football state championship. So what a season, what a year it's been for Warren Central. Center Grove, 14 sectional titles, but they're looking for a regional title. They haven't gotten one of those since 1972. As you look at Zach Hahn in the huddle, again, Newcastle High School won a state championship in 2006. He averaged 19 points a game in his last 2 seasons of high school. Played with a couple guys from Monroe County. Played with Garrett Butcher, who went to Edgewood, and also Eric Fromm from Bloomington South, another 2 Indiana All-Stars. They were all together on those Butler Bulldog teams, along with a guy named Gordon Hayward, plays for the Boston Celtics. That's on Lucas Doyle, his first and the team's third. Center Grove a season ago, 20-7. Bloomington North last year, 6-17, lost to their crosstown rivals, 62-48 in the sectional last season. Looking for bigger and better things this season. Lost 5 seniors last year. As Thomas gonna fire the 3, and it's good for Chris Thomas. He's got 9 in his third 3 of the night, and this lead's cut to 5.
Yeah. You got to credit the Cougars. They are not going away. I thought that as soon as those fouls started racking up, they were going to start becoming a little bit more timid, but as you see, they are still clawing.
They're not giving up. Series history is tied at 8 apiece. Doyle, I think the North crowd wanted to travel, didn't get it. Here comes Ethan Venzel. Gets it out to Kleiber. Kleiber resets the offense. Gets it to Davis. Steinfeld gonna put up a shot, and it's good for Aaron Steinfeld. His 4th of the night. Lead is 3. Approaching a minute and a half to go here before the halftime.
And you can see Jackson Davis really wants is calling for the ball. He knows that his team is starting to fall apart right here against the pressure of the Bloomington North Cougars.
That's on Ethan Venzel, his 3rd, and that's tough for, again, Bloomington North. You don't want to get guys in foul trouble. Taven Jackson at the line, 8 points so far for Jackson, makes it 9. As Brixton Aguilera comes back in. And back for Center Grove is Ben Cooney, number 20. Jackson with one more, and he misses that. As the lead is 4. Or no, 21 is Cameron Petty into the game, not Cooney. Davis almost called for the over and back. And now Aguilera is, I think, going to get a warning for slamming the ball. Now they got to calm him down. They got to kind of let him know you can't do that. As nothing was called there. Under a minute to go here in first half. 3 on the way, no good. Rebound, no good. Putback was no good. And it's out of bounds to Center Grove. Like we saw in the JV game, Center Grove getting those second chance opportunities on the glass. DeGraff. Nice move inside for DeGraff. Just 4 points so far for the junior. Kleiber. Davis. Aguilera. That Con wants an offensive foul, not going to get it. Steinfeld, wild shot. Aguilera the rebound, and it was knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Center Grove.
Yeah, they've been able to keep the biggest difference is that they have at least been able to take advantage of a couple more mistakes that the Varsity Cougars have.
Nice pass from Thomas to Steinfeld. He's got 6. Again, lead cut to 4. Here comes Trayce Jackson Davis down the lane. He misses it but gets fouled. And the North bench not happy there. And that's going to send Jackson Davis to the line. Steinfeld with the foul. Jackson Davis, one of the odds-on favorite for Mr. Basketball. Only one Indiana All-Star ever for Center Grove. That was Andrew Smethers in 2011. Also had a great player in Johnny Marlin, who was a walk-on for IU a few years ago, as Jackson Davis missed that. But looking for Mr. Basketball award is Steinfeld's shot, no good. And we'll go to the half with Center Grove up 31-26. As Trayce Jackson Davis so far in double digits for the Cougars, or for the Trojans, and there you go, throwing it down. as there is Nick Kleiber, the freshman, who's got 4. Taven Jackson, the younger brother, the freshman, has 9. Chris Thomas lighting it up. He's got 9. And then you see again Taven Jackson showing that range like he did last night with that game winner against Cathedral, and Aaron Steinfeld finishing inside. And there is Thomas again, that 3 from the wing. Raining threes here in the Cougar Den. Steinfeld, the nice finish underneath. We're at halftime. Center Grove 31, Bloomington North 26 on Smithville Sports. As we welcome you back to Tom McKinney Court here at Bloomington High School North. Cougars trail 31-26 against Center Grove. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball and Smithville Sports. Alongside Quinn Saturday, I am Nick Jenkinson. And Quinn, so far for Center Grove, it's been the brothers. It's been Trayce Jackson Davis and the younger and the freshman Taven Jackson leading the way for Center Grove.
Yeah, both brothers have done their job to keep Center Grove ahead of a very feisty Bloomington North team. Trayce Jackson Davis, the committed Hoosier, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in that first half. Taven Jackson, the freshman, 9 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. In that first half, very close, 15-11 rebounding edge for Center Grove, and 5-5 completely tied in terms of assists. As for Bloomington North, Chris Thomas has been very impressive. 9 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Was the top player in that first half for the Cougars.
As you see, Taven Jackson working it into his older brother, and he draws the foul, will go to the line.
We were talking a little bit about it during break, but glad to see that they are trying to establish him, Trayce Jackson Davis, in the post to start here, as it seemed like they kind of went away from him in that second quarter.
Did not have a field goal in that second quarter. He had 3 field goals in the first quarter. 4 for 8 from the foul line for the future Indiana Hoosier. And he misses both. Battle for it on the floor, and it will be the possession arrow with Bloomington North. Talk about the play of Chris Thomas. How about Aaron Steinfeld underneath so far in that first half with 6 big points?
Yeah, kind of similar to in the JV game with Austin Booker, but for Center Grove, that backup forward off the bench who just came in and kind of asserted their will.
As a foul. That's on Justin DeGraff, his second and the team's first. Where Center Grove was in the double bonus, Bloomington North was not able to get to the line at all because Center Grove only had 3 fouls in that first half. Venzel, Kleiber. Bullet pass from Thomas to Blair and then blocked by Jackson Davis.
Yeah, that shot had some arch on it. That was a very impressive block because that was designed to go over him.
And then Isaac Venzel scores on the backdoor pass, and Center Grove does not see it, and this lead cut to 3.
Venzel actually had a very quiet first half. Averaged about 10 points last season. That was his first points of the game.
Taven Jackson's shot not falling. Here comes Bloomington North. Kleiber, Venzel to tie it too strong. And then here comes Center Grove. DeGraff to the bucket. He's got 6. Lead is up to 5. Blair, or Brewster to Blair. Venzel. Going around the Trojans, and now Isaac Venzel starting to get going with his 4th point.
Yeah, and that makes that first half retrospectively even more impressive considering they didn't get anything out of him scoring-wise. And don't forget, Tim Brewster has also been held scoreless as well. If he can get going, North's going to really push Center Grove here.
Taven Jackson, 3 on the way for Pursfield. Gets the runner, Jackson Davis the rebound and the putback. And Pursfield's another guy averaging double figures that's been quiet. He's only gotten 2 points so far. Kleiber, short. Jackson Davis with the rebound. Ahead to Pursfield. Nickerson 3 from the wing, no good. Jackson Davis skies for the board and then gets fouled by Thomas.
I'm going to need to see a replay on that. I swear he caught it with his fingertips.
That is the 3rd on Chris Thomas. You know, what is interesting is, you know, we talked about how the game has evolved so much, and these guys that are 6'9", 6'10", how well they handle the ball. You look at a guy like Bull from Oregon, 7'2", and he's hitting fadeaway 3-point shots. I mean, it's just unreal how the big man has, you know, is not your low post big man. He's a guy that goes out and hits 3-pointers everywhere and handles the ball like a guard.
It's part of kind of a natural evolution of basketball, just because people have just kind of realized how important the 3 is, as we have a 3 right there from Jeremiah Blair.
His 5th point.
But as I was saying, just kind of like the analytics of how important 3s are, making your tall guys be able to shoot 3s is very important and be a big weapon.
There's Jackson Davis inside, and the lead is 6. I think one of the guys that kind of changed the evolution of that was a Dirk Nowitzki. You know, a guy that could go out, stretch the floor, and, you know, hit shots as a bigger player. Kleiber just, they get a personal, I mean, Kleiber fell to the floor. Center Grove wanted to travel, not going to get it. That's on Ben Nickerson, his first and team second. Or it's team's second, or his second, team's second. Go with me there on that one. 21 is back into the game. That's Cameron Petty. Brewster. And then that will be a foul. Cameron Petty with a foul, team first, or his first, team third. Blair. Off Jackson Davis.
He literally just threw it off of Jackson Davis's leg because he didn't want to get a 5-second violation. That's actually pretty amazing.
Thomas with the 3, and it's good. His 4th 3 of the night.
And it's a 3-point game.
And this is where it seems like Center Grove is able to then extend the lead. North gets within 3, and then usually Center Grove has an answer. To Graff. Moving around, Petty's going to fire a 3, and the answer. And a timeout is called.
Smart timeout. You don't want this. You could definitely sense a little bit of momentum shift with that 3. You want to be able to, like, plan out your next possession.
That's a 30-second timeout, and you see Zach Hahn getting into his team. Again, he played at Newcastle High School, won his state title, played at Butler, was on 2 national runner-up teams for Brad Stevens. And he is he was a fiery player. He's definitely brought that intensity as a coach. 3 winning seasons so far, 2 sectional championships in his 5 years at Center Grove. And again, play a really tough schedule next Friday at Pike, and then they will play LaPorte La Lumiere, a prep school, in the final game of the foreign tip-off Credit Union Classic at Southport High School. 6 games that day. That is a great day of basketball. In one of the great venues in the state, the Southport Fieldhouse. And it's a travel on Jeremiah Blair. It'll be Trojans ball. So Nickerson will bring it up. Gets it to Jackson Davis. Petty got Brewster completely off his feet and jumped over him. And that'll be a foul on Brewster. But how high Brewster got up.
I was going to say, that was a nasty pump. That was a nasty pump fake, but Brewster was practicing his high jump on that block attempt.
Petty. DeGraff, offensive foul on DeGraff. His third, team's fourth.
Yeah, and this is, I feel like part of the reason why they haven't extended the lead more is that I feel like DeGraff has kind of had like little either mental mistakes like that or just had a really rough night. And you also got to consider they just had a very exhaustive, emotional win against Cathedral, and this is the next day. How tired are they after that one in a back-to-back?
Well, and that was something I was asking Zach Hahn earlier, but as they came in tonight, that they, this has been a very obviously an emotional week, a very tough week, a lot going on, obviously with Jackson Davis' commitment to IU yesterday, and then having to come down here and play as Jackson Davis got the block, but North got the rebound, and it's not going to get any easier because, again, they play, they play a lot of tough teams coming up. But, their conference is brutal. Venzel scores his 6-point. Cathedral was ranked 3rd last night, Center Grove 4th. Jackson Davis, spin move, tied up, and Steinfeld commits the foul.
Yeah, Steinfeld questioning the foul call, but he did grab his forearm.
And Trayce Jackson Davis back at the line. He's got double figures for the 4th straight game. Played last season, played with USA Basketball last summer. 17 points for Jackson Davis. And he misses that one. And it's going to be a foul on the Trojans. That's on Cameron Petty, his 2nd, team's 5th. As athletic director Andy Hodson, former boys basketball coach here, cleaning up the moisture. As substitutions come in for Center Grove. As Charlie Bemis is in. Jeremiah Blair. Brewster. Cliver. Brewster. Isaac Venzel. He gets fouled. And we'll go to the line.
Yeah, from 3 fouls in that first half to now being one away from putting the Cougars in the bonus for the rest of the game, and we're 2 minutes left in the third.
the foul discrepancies are, well, it's not as bad as it was in the first half, but now Bloomington North's getting the favor. That was the first foul shot for Bloomington North in this game. So Isaac Venzel with one more, and he gets that to go. Again, lead is down to 3 for the Trojans. That is the scoop and score for Spencer Persfield. He's only got 4 tonight. Got it averages in double figures at 13 a game. Kleiber, Venzel, or Isaac to Ethan, to Kobe Davis. Kleiber, Kobe Davis, Ethan Venzel. There is Kobe Davis off the mark. Kleiber kicks it out. Ethan Venzel 3 is no good. Last touch by Center Grove. It'd be Bloomington North ball.
And Jackson Davis is a little lucky he didn't get over the back on that rebound attempt.
He tapped it out, and it went right back to the hands of Kleiber. As Doyle comes in for Center Grove. Venzel's got to get it in. He does to Steinfeld. Kleiber. Seems like Bloomington North gets it to within 3, and then Center Grove responds. Davis. Isaac Venzel. Inside a minute. Venzel gets it to go. He's in double digits with 10.
All in this quarter.
He had 12 at Bedford North Lawrence. Brewster led the way with 15. There's a 3 on the way. It is off the mark. And then it's a foul on Isaac Venzel. That's his 3rd, team's 5th. This is where, if you're Bloomington North, you got to get a stop with the lead at 3. Double teaming. And it's Ethan Venzel on the foul, and that's going to be 4 on Ethan.
And I believe Chris Thomas also has 3 fouls, I believe. So both big men that the Cougars have to throw at Trayce Jackson Davis in a bit of foul trouble, and we're not even in the 4th yet.
Yeah, that's always a big story, not to mention with Isaac Venzel and Tim Brewster with 3 as well. There it is, Jackson Davis, double teamed and still gets the bucket.
I think that's the 5th foul on Ethan Venzel too.
And that is it for Ethan Venzel. And with 26.5 left in the 3rd quarter, he has fouled out with just 3 points. Unbelievable. So Aaron Steinfeld will come in to replace Ethan Venzel, and he will spend the rest of this game on the bench. He had a tough game down at Bedford North Lawrence, just 2 points. Trayce Jackson Davis at the line, and he gets that one to go.
And that makes it 20 for him on the night.
Lead is back to 6. Be interesting to see if they go to him a lot in the 4th. Try to put this game away as he blocks Isaac Venzel, but a foul called before. That's on
Kevin Garnett inspired an entire generation that even after the whistle, you don't allow the ball to go through the hoop.
Kobe Davis going to check in. I mean, Kevin Garnett was kind of the pioneer of the guy who jumped straight from high school to the NBA. Do you think that the NBA should go back to that, where they should be allowed to jump again from high school to the pros instead of this going to college for a year?
That's a very multi-layered, loaded question that I do not have anywhere near enough time to answer here in this broadcast.
Yeah, we only have one more quarter to go, but I'm just putting it out there. As
short answer, no, but what we have now isn't perfect either.
No, I do agree with that.
Short answer. Elaborate on the short answer. I'll explain in the fourth.
Jackson Davis, he loses the ball, and then that will do it. Stay tuned, fourth quarter coming up next. Center Grove 48, North 44 here on Smithville Sports.
Commercial Service is celebrating 70 years as the largest, most trusted heating and air conditioning company in southern Indiana. With Commercial Service and Train's special financing rates, you can afford to have the best. But hurry, this is a limited time offer. Preventative maintenance programs reduce repair and utility bills. Also, get your 15% off coupon at commercialservice.com. After a merger with R&S Plumbing, Commercial Service is now Southern Indiana's most trusted plumbing company. 24 hours, 7 days a week. For more information, visit commercialservice.com.
Welcome back to Bloomington North. Trojans up on the Cougars 48-44 as we start the fourth. A reminder, our next broadcast is next Saturday, December 8th, when Bloomfield will face Edgewood over at the Mustang Corral. The Mustangs are unbeaten, coming off a win last night against Cloverdale, wins over Martinsville and Bloomington South, ranked 12th in Class 3A, and then Bloomfield, a Class 1A team. Always a tough matchup. They play gritty, they play hard, and Ron McBride, who used to coach at Bloomfield for several years, back for this season as the interim head coach. So that should be a battle next week in the Mustang Corral. Several guys playing very well for Edgewood. Trevor Taylor, of course, the sophomore. Kyle Rogers has had 3 double-figure games off the bench. Coleman Saders had 2 double-doubles. And they're a lot more guard-oriented this year with the graduations of Caleb Norris and Chayton Howard. So we'll get to see this new kind of guard-oriented Edgewood team next Saturday night against Bloomfield. Fourth quarter, there is Jackson Davis. He misses it and gets his own rebound and put back.
22 points and 8 rebounds so far tonight for Jackson Davis.
Another big game for him. Again, and they have thrown, North has thrown everything they can at him. There is Chris Thomas. Venzel with the rebound. Thomas tried to leave it for Steinfeld, and he lost it out of bounds. It will be Center Grove ball. Again, Ethan Venzel has fouled out of this game, so he is not available.
And as you mentioned near the end of the third quarter, we might look to see if they try to take advantage of that lack of depth now and try to feed Jackson Davis down here in the fourth quarter.
Taven Jackson was quiet in that third quarter, did not score. He's guarded by Thomas. There's DeGraff. And he throws up a shot and gets fouled. And that's 4 on Isaac Venzel, and team's 8th. So Justin DeGraff at the line, 6 points tonight. Has scored in double figures all 3 games this season, 14 points a game, 7 of 10 from the foul line coming into tonight. And he gets that free throw foul shot to go, 4 of 6 at the line for DeGraff. 8-point lead for the Trojans. Isaac Vinsel continues his second half scoring barrage. Jackson Davis underneath to DeGraff. Rim was touched. And now DeGraff and Steinfeld go at it, and Steinfeld knocked to the floor. Getting very chippy here toward the end of this game. Cleaning up the moisture. Next week, next Friday, North home against Mooresville. Center Grove is at Pike, and then they play LaPorte La Lumiere next Saturday. LaPorte La Lumiere, Keon Brooks, another top-rated recruit that IU is after. Not to mention big man Isaiah Stewart as well. So, no, that's a matchup that the Trojan fans are looking forward to next Saturday night at Southport. Cougars down 8. Fensel. Thomas. Steinfeld scores over Jackson Davis. Steinfeld's got 8. Taven Jackson. Jackson Davis. Nickerson gonna set it up. DeGraff. Jackson Davis gets fouled by Steinfeld.
And Brewster trying to keep Steinfeld from maybe getting a technical, because he's been getting heated after last couple of these situations.
Well, now waiting to see what's correction is. The foul is on Trayce Jackson Davis. They had changed the call, and that's the first on Jackson Davis. Now the officials discussing things here. Jason Spear was really adamant, as you see the officials discussing. And now the scores table would like an explanation. This is going to put Aaron Steinfeld at the line. 8 points tonight for Aaron. 6'5" sophomore.
Yeah, breakout athlete for the football team as a wide receiver weapon. Showing he's a breakout hoops player as well.
Misses that. Jackson Davis in the lane and scores. Lead is back to 8. Brewster left it short. Here comes Jackson Davis. Showing off those skills and gonna just slam it home. Lead is 10. That's a how you do from Trayce Jackson Davis. Steinfeld, Jackson Davis blocks it. Bodies flying everywhere. That's on Piercefield, his first, team's 9th.
Let's see, do we have another basket in here? Because we might need to retire that one.
Well, that one gets both baskets get abused quite a bit with all the dunking that we see from time to time.
No, I mean that one basically ended that one basket's career. That dunk did. It's like it's not getting any better than that.
Another timeout called. 4:56 left here, 55 left here in quarter number 4. While we have a minute, we want to thank our crew, the hardworking women and men behind the scenes. We've got Catherine Jankowski, Nate Alarcon, Ethan Tashida on the cameras, Jeremy Nutter and Annette Bruner doing scores, Rob Ramsey, the director, Nadir Noon, Clemente Torrado doing the replays. We thank them all for all their hard work behind the scenes and for everything they do. We could not do it without you, night in and night out.
Also, while we have a second, I want to finish my thought from the end of the third quarter when I said about the whole going straight to the pros thing. I think that it's something where, as Brewster misses that shot
and remains scoreless,
that it should only be allowed in extreme circumstances. Like there are some circumstances, as we get to Graff with a nice bucket right there and gets him to double digits, that they should be able to go straight to the NBA, but it should be like a very hard, restrictive, you have to meet so many different requirements kind of thing, because a lot of kids you watch end up needing that extra year or two in college just to refine their game.
There are several guys that have been able to, that have declared for the pros and went undrafted and did not make it, and now they are basically out of basketball. So it's a very hard thing, as Vincel took a hard fall and then fell again. And it slipped again. He can't, there's major moisture on the floor. And another throwdown from Jackson Davis. And now an official timeout to clean up the moisture. Vincel got up, tried to get up twice, and he fell right back down. It's been very hot in here tonight, too, and it's not even a sold-out gym. But a lot of moisture on the floor.
Yeah, and that was a huge sequence for Trayce Jackson Davis. With that, he got his 10th rebound and now has 28 points and 10 rebounds on the night.
Lived up a good performance, of course, from the future IU Hoosier. There is Blair scoring the bucket.
Yeah, I was mentioning that kind of a little quieter than I would have thought from a Mr. Indiana basketball candidate, but in this second half, he's really come to play.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see the big player take over this game, and although that pass was out of his hands, Brewster scores. And that is Tim Brewster's first two of the night. You talked about it earlier, Quinn. Brewster hasn't been able to score. I mean, first two of the night for Brewster. Lead is 10. And a foul on the Cougars, and that gets Jason Spear and Jabril Conte off the bench. That's on Nick Kleiber, his second. And you see Jason Spear not happy with the call. As Ben Nicholson at the line hits the free throw. He's got 7 tonight.
But I just got to say, from last season to this season, there has been a huge improvement in the Bloomington North Cougars. Last season's team would not have been able to hold with Center Grove for this long.
Now they've hung in there the whole night. They've got it down to as many as 3, and then Center Grove answers. Lead right now is 12. But yeah, they've hung in here this whole game. Kleiber. Brewster. Kleiber almost taken away. And Jason Spear wants a timeout.
Very smart timeout. That offensive position was going nowhere.
As we look at these schedules for Bloomington North, Mooresville, Southport, then at Northview, Evansville North, then they host Evansville Central and Shelbyville in the Bloomington North Classic before Christmas, and at Evansville Wright. Then in the new year, Bloomington South, Seymour, Martinsville, at Terre Haute South, Columbus East, Edgewood, at Whiteland, Terre Haute North, at Columbus North, at Floyd Central, and then they finish up at New Albany. For Center Grove, at Pike, LaPorte, La Lumiere in the Southport tournament, at Whiteland, Avon, at Perry Meridian, Greenwood. Then they'll be in the Hall of Fame Classic at Newcastle. That will be the homecoming for Zach Hahn, who played in that greatest high school gym ever, over 9,000. Have you ever been to Newcastle?
I believe so.
That is, if you have not been, you need to go, because that is that is the best. I mean, your jaw will drop when you walk in there for the first time and how big that place is.
You say 9,000, that's half the size of Assembly Hall.
It's bigger than Cameron Indoor Stadium. That's how insane it is. It's like Cameron. I think I saw something like Cameron Indoor Stadium would only be like the second or third largest gym in Indiana if it was here, because Newcastle and East Chicago Central, and there's a lot of big gyms, but they play Westview, and then they'll play either Warren Central or Valparaiso, as Isaac Venzel gets another bucket.
Yeah, I meant that as a compliment, that half the size of Assembly Hall.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest buildings. It's a fun place to go watch a game. Also gotten the privilege of broadcasting a couple of games in there when I was a student at Ball State University. Got to do a couple sectional games for the student radio station. As that is a foul on Brewster. Or Jeremiah Blair, excuse me. That's his third. And this will send Justin DeGraff to the line. You mentioned he got in double figures, but it's been a hard he's had to earn every point tonight as he misses that foul shot. Kleiber. Just under 2 to go. Venzel over Jackson Davis. Isaac Venzel not giving up, leads down to 8.
16 points all in this second half.
And just a sophomore. Here is Trayce, double teamed and still gets the bucket. I mean, just the absolute sheer determination to just get that shot up and still go.
Also, funny thing, as the player he'll be replacing next season, he looked like a little bit like Jawan Morgan there on that and one.
As Trayce finishes the three-point play. Hoosiers get to win this afternoon over Northwestern. Play Penn State on Tuesday in State College. Chris Thomas, a three. No good. Jackson Davis just grabs that with one hand. And now Center Grove going to work the ball around. DeGraff called for the travel. Although Zach Hahn not happy with the officials. Didn't like that one. And now we're going to see a new 5 come in. There's Nickerson, and he'll take it to the basket.
And he gets double digits as well.
Center Grove will win for the 4th straight time in this series and take a 9-8 lead. As Brewster gets the basket. And now we are going to see the starters go out for Center Grove. As what an effort tonight. As Trayce Jackson Davis finishes with 31 points and 11 rebounds. Quite the performance, and he really came in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Got 21 of those points in the second half. 10 of them in that third quarter, which was very important when they started shifting that offense towards them.
So a great performance, a good one from Trayce Jackson Davis. We enjoyed bringing this one to you. Again, a big thank you to our crew for all their hard work behind the scenes as we get a timeout from Jason Spear. As the full timeout from Jason Spear. You know, we talked about Center Grove has played 3 games so far, or this is their 4th game. Bloomington North has just played 1. We've talked about how sometimes schedules are. Jason Spear gave his guys, after the Bedford North Lawrence game, the rest of the week off of Thanksgiving, and they came back to practice on Monday. And this is just the 2nd week of the season. Do you think that was good to give them that break? Do you think, you know, they need to maybe, with the schedule? I mean, I guess it's hard because you don't want to, you know, these kids are playing pretty much 2 and 3 games a week all the time anyway.
I think whatever he did for this, it worked though. They played extremely well. They had a very tall task to have to go against this Trojan team, and like I've been saying all night, they've played toe to toe and have made them claw and earn every single point. They, for a half, made Trayce Jackson Davis look like just a good player, not a great player.
Yeah, he's
finally in that second half, he came to and asserted his dominance, but they had, if I'm North, I'm proud of this performance tonight.
Oh, there's nothing to hang your head about. They've given it their all, and they've played really hard. As Chris Thomas hits another 3, 15 for Thomas, all 5 threes. Well, they're now going to say it's a 2, that his foot was on the line, so. So it was a 2, so it's down to 61. They said his foot's on the line. When Center Grove's going to try to dribble this one out, and Trayce Jackson Davis, though, is going to put the exclamation point on this game with the nice feed and the dunk, and we're going to go back to the line. That will be it for Jeremiah Blair, as he finished with 7 points. So Trayce Jackson Davis, 33 points. And he will miss that one. Bloomington North. Whoa! Chris Thomas from half court.
He said basically you can't say that's not a 3.
He just, I don't know, with the officials discussing something here. I don't think this game quite over yet. Something happened there after he hit that 3.
Well, the basket said it's good night.
Well, now Scott Bless and Andy Hodson are trying to tell him, wait a minute. They're telling the guys to put him back up.
They're going to put 2.9 seconds left.
2.9 seconds left. Chris Thomas hauled that 3 back up, and then I don't know if Spear called a timeout. I don't know if the officials, what happened there as they're getting it all straightened out.
"17 points for Chris Thomas tonight. That he has been he's been very impressive. And I think that having a full off season to be able to work with this team, I feel like he's making a bigger impact now on this North squad.
As they're going to inbound it, and then Wenzel commits the foul. So hold on, this isn't over yet. Isaac Wenzel committed the foul before time ran out.
Man, that south end basket really wants to go to sleep. He was trying to get up his way. He was trying to get up after that.
The last 2 minutes of why wrestling is better than basketball. Wrestling's better because
So Nickerson's got. They're going to put 1.9 back on the clock as Isaac Wenzel has fouled out. And there is Nickerson, and he misses that one. And now I think they're going to try to get the rest of the guys in real quick. For Center Grove. So one more, no good. Nickerson gets it back and just dribbles it out, and that will be it. As Center Grove wins this one 71-64. Here's a bunch of the highlights tonight. How about Isaac Wenzel in the second half? Yes. What a performance for him. But Center Grove just continued to attack. North didn't give up as they fall to 1-1 on the year. Isaac Wenzel leads the way. But here is the guy, future Hoosier, Trayce Jackson Davis. That's a slam. And then another slam for the big man coming to IU. Tim Brewster gets going finishes with 5 points. And then just sheer will to get that one up for Trayce Jackson Davis. A lot of motion. Chris Thomas, a half-court heave as Center Grove beats Bloomington North 71-64. For all the hardworking women and men behind the scenes, for my partner Quinn Saturday, I am Nick Jenkinson. Thank you for watching, and good night from Bloomington North.